Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers Power of the Primes Deluxe Class Blackwing. I almost said Darkwing, but his name is Blackwing. So if you don't know who this guy is, he came out in 1988. He was a Decepticon Power Master who was called Darkwing, again, like I said, instead of Blackwing. And he was a partner to Dreadwing, who we reviewed in the Wave 1. And they, in the original toys, were able to combine into one combined jet mode called Dreadwing, which this toy is able to replicate. But before we get into that, let's take a look at Blackwing. Oh boy, I'm going to be terrible with the names today. Blackwing in his jet mode by himself first. And if you can't tell, he is a retool of the the air raid mold, since he's got the sort of back wings. Though, admittedly, there is a lot of retooling that has happened. Unfortunately, I do not have the aerial bots with me currently to show them off. I do own them, they're just not where I currently am. But anyway, it's got very, very, well, not sleek, because then you get to the underside and that's boxy, but like the top, like the angles and the corners just looks very, very nice. Just taking a closer look, his body's predominantly of a gray color. He's got a bit teal kind of color going on the windows, a little bit right there, and on the tail fins as well, with some nice silver paint going on there. You got some nice purple wings going on, as with some nice yellow silver Decepticon symbol typograph stripe going down and kind of looking like a huge thunderbolt, which is very nice. A little bit of silver and red on these vents right here, and then underside is robot mode. There's the legs, there's the arms, there's the head, there's the chest. It's an aerial bot mold. There's a jet with a robot underneath. So what are you gonna do? The wings, you are able to position them. That's basically your articulation. You can get them to fold out, since this is basically like one of those jets that can do that. So you can have it spread out like that, or I can have it like folded back for, if I remember correctly of how those jets work, this allows it to have greater speed, but this like has greater maneuverability, if I understand it correctly. But yeah, looks pretty good. Unfortunately, on my copy, since the tail fins are soft rubbery plastic, they have bent in packaging, so you can probably fix that with a hair dryer or something. But do know that is a thing, certainly. As for as stuff he comes with, as with the others, collector's card, which you should know by now. Every size class above Prime Master gets one of these. And for the most part, they're the same. They got the same artwork, the same the Primes logo, same Generations logo, same name, Decepticon Blackwing. But each toy can come with one of 12 different ones, with all of this the same, but then the difference is that they are associated with a different prime. This one is specifically Liege Maximo, so he's got the Liege Maximo symbol up there, the green border, and then on the back it reads that when Blackwing is combined with Liege Maximo, he convinces enemies to lose hope and surrender. He's just about as fun and cheery as Dreadwing was. But besides that, he also comes with these two blasters, which are very neat. They're kind of small, but they're still very neat. And you can attach them in the jet mode. You can use these 5mm ports on the side of the jet and just plug them right in, like so. If the arm will stay in place, or you can use the fist there sticking out and plug them on the inside. Though that's going to stick out a bit beneath the jet mode, so it's not going to sit flush, unfortunately. If you try to like have it on the ground, it's not going to like sit as flat as it would if you have those pegged in there. And then of course he also comes, and then there's also the 5mm port on the top, but that is more so to be used with the Prime armor for this form. And you can see it's a very solid blue piece, including the gun that is also gap filler. It has that, which, if I can get it out, solid blue piece, 5mm rectangular post. Does fit in the 5mm posts on Blackwing here. And then you can stick various things in here. You can stick Prime Masters, Tie-In Masters, Voyager Enigmas, and Leader Matrices. So you got a lot of things you can shove in there to have some variety. And of course they have a 5mm post, so you can stick this on top here. And just have a giant engine block going on top of the jet. Which, I mean, makes sense since they were Power Masters and they basically they needed an engine to transform. That's how the original gimmick for these guys worked. So you can kind of mimic that, though they don't come with their Power Master partners, unfortunately. But anyway, besides that, we also have Titan Master interactivity. Prime Master interactivity. Utilizing these 5mm posts here, you can stick a Prime Master on. That one's not so tight. There you go. Time Master standing on a jet in mid-flight. There you go. That makes sense. And that's that for the jet mode. So let's get into some size comparisons. So here he is next to Legends Class Bumblebee. You can see how they scale. Deluxe Chrome Dome. You can see how they scale. Leader Class Megatron. See how they scale, and Megatron's just a bit longer than Blackwing here. And Leader Class 6-Shot. Did I say Leader Class Megatron or Voyager Class Megatron? I don't remember. But you can see that scale there. And then here is his partner, Dreadwing. See how they scale. Blackwing's just a tad bit longer. And while we have Dreadwing out here, let us show off their combined Dreadwing jet mode, shall we? So, what we're going to do for Dreadwing is we're going to fold these tail fins up, and then untab these wings, and then tab them into that position right there. Do that, tab it in right there. That's all you need to do for Dreadwing. Now for Blackwing, what we're going to do is we're going to take this assembly. Well, let's get these wings out of the way so we get a little bit of clearance to work with, since we are going to need it. We're going to fold this whole thing up at this hinge right here. This backpack is very much changed between this mold and the original mold. So we're going to fold that up, and we're going to use these giant ball sockets and rotate that all the way around, like so. And do the same on the other side. And then while we're up under here, we're going to flip, not the combiner port, but this 5mm post out and have it clip in right there over that tiny square peg into that tiny gap. So as that kind of stays in place, and then we'll just collapse this down, tab it back in, and then the nose cone flips up like so, and then we'll flip the head up just to get into the gap and get out of the way. And then you just stick this into the 5mm post, straighten some things out, and there you have the combined Dreadwing jet. Which, yeah, all right. I wish it was more stable, but you know, they did what they did. Biggest thing is, like I said, stability is the problem. This is very interesting. It's very neat that they replicated this original gimmick from the toy and using two completely different jets and making this work, well, like already existing molds and then modifying them to be able to accommodate this is a very nice touch. I wish they were able to do something better about Blackwing's head here, just to make that like hide better inside this gap, inside the nose cone gap. But it's all right. The biggest issue obviously is the connection, since all of this is only connected through that post, that slot in that hole. I wish And I think they could have done this, that they had 2 slots underneath here, and instead of this being 2 slots up here, this being the tabs that could go into holes for the nose cone to fit into, but also to fit into the back of here, just to make that connection a tad, just a tad more secure. And if they could have done something with the wings, that would have also been neat. But that's a little. I think that one would have been a little excessive. But I think the 2 tabs the 2 tabs in Blackwing to fit into Dreadwing would probably have made this a more solid combination. But you know, it's certainly something. I probably will not be displaying them this like much, but it's very nice that they can do it. So another round of size comparisons. So here is the Dreadwing jet next to Bumblebee. And you can't see how they scale since they're off the screen. You got Deluxe class Chrome Dome. Deluxe class Chrome Dome. You can see that scale. Voyager class Megatron. That scale. And Leader class 6-shot. And you can see that scale. So, that is all to say on the Dreadwing combined jet mode. So now let's decombine them and get Blackwing into his limb modes and then into his robot mode. So, detach Dreadwing, put him off to the side. For leg mode, we're gonna come back in here, untab those, flip that back down. We'll just untab the arms right quick so as we can move the legs out of the way to get clearance for the combiner. Post to get out, and then reattach all of this lower stuff. Then we'll fold the wings down like so. And then we're gonna rotate the nose cone, and you can get Blackwing's head into the proper position. Just fold it down like such. And I'm just trying to remember the positioning for the wings for this form. So yeah, this is going to be positioned this way. Right? Wrong. Nope. Yeah, okay. So actually, sorry, my orientation was wrong. So you'll want the wings in this position, in this form, to allow it to fold into the correct position for the leg mode. So then what we're going to do is I just got to get this to bend properly, because how does it, because it goes, yep, there we go. Okay, so what's got to happen? I completely forgot about this. Because I thought it was this way, and then you fold this up for these tabs, because these tabs on the nose cone have to go into those slots right there. And I was thinking it had to be at this position, but the thing is, this hinge is gonna fold down here like that, and then you just have this straighten out, and then those tabs do get into those slots right there. So then now we just orient these wings into this position like so, and then we get a foot piece. We'll take one of Starscream's foot pieces. And there you have Blackwing in his leg mode. And he's got a gap there, but what are you gonna do? The wing positioning on the legs is pretty nice, I will say. And though you also do have arms sticking out to the sides, though that gives the leg mode a bit of bulk, though it's a little weird that it's only back here and not, despite the leg being so wide in this direction and not as wide this direction. But you know, it's what it is, what you can do with a jet that needs to be a leg and an arm. But combiner port rotates Has the solid ratchets for the rotation. Things do like to fall off if you play with this a little bit. And then the foot does everything the foot should do. It can rotate, it can ratchet, it can rotate a full 360 degrees. And then just a final once around, so as you can see how this is transformed. But yeah, that's all for the leg mode, so let's get into the arm mode. So we're gonna move the arms out of the way. We're gonna untab all of this and fold these out to the side. I may have to reorient them later just to because I'm still trying to remember how they work. Actually, I think we're just gonna rotate these like this for the time being and see what happens. But what is going to happen specifically is that we are going to lay all of this down like we are going into the jet mode. But what is going to happen is the nose cone will fold upon to the back, like for the combined Dreadwing mode. So it's going to be like that. And then that tab fell out, so it's... I'm trying to... remember, because that's not right, but that's what we've got to work with. But I'll figure that out in a moment. So we're just gonna split the legs open, straighten the legs out, collapse them back in together so they tap together. Fold that, we'll make them a right arm, we'll fold them like that, and we're gonna... Ooh, I remember how the wings work now. So it's actually, we're gonna rotate them this way. This is the way they have to go, because there are these blue tabs you can see on the wings that don't have any other purpose except for this mode. And what's gonna happen is these arms are gonna shift up here, and then we're gonna bend them down. Actually, yeah, we bend them down this way, and then these tabs go into that slot right there. And that's how that works. Then we fold that up, rotate, fold down, tab into place. All the nose cone remains on the back, like so. We gotta reorient the combiner port and I screwed everything up because it is a little hard to get things to work with this extra tab going on, so you just gotta finagle your way to make this work. So I just gotta fix everything now. Tab that back in, tab that back in, and then we can now take the foot, the prime armor, orient the thumbs to a position so as they look like they're a hand. Flip the fingers out, and there you have Blackwing in his arm mode. And it's an arm mode. It's certainly an arm mode. Arm rotation is unfortunately limited a tad, just because, again, this extra bit for the combined form. So you gotta sometimes untab to get the full rotation. Though if you want it stuck in that one position, that does make it a bit more solid, but it's unfortunate that that tab just gets in the way a little bit with the arm mode articulation, just how everything has to sit. But the swivel ratchet does work fine. Arm joints, that bends a 90-degree angle at the hips, and then what will be the robot knees also bend at nearly a 90-degree angle. So you got a double arm bend, though, because of how wide this upper section is here, you're not gonna really get a full use of it, because goddamn, that is a wide shoulder, and wide, just like this way wide, not like how you'd normally expect a wide shoulder to be. And then the hands, rotate, finger, ball jointed thumb, all that good stuff. And then just another quick once around to see how this is formed. And now we can move on to the robot mode. So the hand is out of the way. I screwed up one of the legs, so we shall fix that right quick. We will untab the legs, just those tabs, tab and slot and tab. There you go for that. untab the arms from the wings, fold the arms down, rotate them, strain, fold down, rotate them, untab this backpack so we can rotate the wings around into their correct position for robot mode. And then we can move this out and around. We collapse all of this down, and then we fold the head around, fold it around, and they're the same kind of gap to fit on that tab for that all to connect. And this leg has come untabbed, just this tab going into that slot right there. And I've seen it that these wings kind of stick out to the side a little bit, so I'm going to do that. And there you have Blackwing in his robot mode. Now I'll lower the camera a little bit while we're here, and he looks very, very nice. He looks so cool and very interesting with this color scheme. Like, it's a late 80s color scheme, and late 80s, early 90s get to sign some kind of gaudy color schemes. And this could certainly fall into that, but this still looks quite nice. Like, you got the blues, you got the teals, you got the purple and yellow, and oh my god, there's so many colors on this guy. But it quite works, and very interesting contrast with like the grays and the silvers too. It's not like completely like bright popping colors. There's just enough of like the regular colors to like mute it just enough to make it not too popping. But taking a closer look at him, he has a very nice head sculpt. He's got a gray helmet with a like teal like mouth, and then purple eyes, which just because of how shiny they are and how reflective they seem to be, it's a shame they're not light piping. I mean, none of these toys now have light piping, but it is still a shame that this particular toy does not have light piping. That looks so cool, I gotta say. Then you got a predominantly blue chest. You got a little bit of silver on the sides there. A bit of silver on this section right here with the Decepticon logo right there. Arms teal, gray, blue with gray painted fists. I guess like the waist, the crotch is blue. I mean gray. Why did I say blue? Then the same kind of teal for the upper legs. Predominantly gray lower legs, silver kneecaps, and then that kind of a teal colored foot going on there, with then the nose cone just sitting on the back and the wings hanging off the lower legs. And then as for articulation, his head can rotate a full 360 degrees. Because of how the ball joint works, you can get him to look all the way up, which really works because he's a jet former and he needs to fly, and he should be seeing where he's going if he's flying in his robot mode, so he can get a proper look out at the world as he flies, which pleases me very much. And then you don't really get side to side, but you do get that very nice upper movement, and not a whole lot down, or any down really. Arms do have 360 degree rotation if you move the jet wings out of the way to allow that, or just work around the jet wings. Then the arms are able to bend that far out. There is a bicep swivel allowing 360 degrees of rotation. Elbow bend that gives him a little greater than 90 degrees of bend. And then nothing at the wrists. Waist does a 360. Excuse me. Legs can bend that far forward and that far back and only that far out. There's a thigh swivel, 360 degrees. Why are you stuck? 360 degrees there. And then 90 degree, little less than 90 degrees of bend at the knee. Nothing up the feet. They're just one solid piece. And as for his accessories, he can hold his guns either in his hands or on his forearms if the arms will accept them. They do fit, they just decide to slide. And if you do this, you kind of give him a bit of a Seeker vibe, if you want to do that. which I mean, that definitely works. I'd say that works and looks cool. So you got those places, no storage on the back, unfortunately for them, unless there are any secret tabs, slots that could fit those tabs on the wings, which there seem to be none. And then, of course, the prime armor. The gun, of course, can fit into the hands, and I'll just show you that right quick. If I don't drop it on the ground, it'd be right quick. It can hold that gun, and then the prime armor is able to be used as a buckler shield on the forearms, like so, or it can combine with the chest. And how you do that is you take this panel, fold it down, stick it in that 5mm hole, and he's got some big chest going on there. And that is all to say about Blackwing in his robot mode, so let us get into some robot mode size comparisons. Here he is next to Legends class Bumblebee, and Bumblebee kind of comes up to about there, just like in the line on the combiner peg that you can see. Deluxe class Chrome Dome, and Dreadwing is about maybe a half a head taller, a little bit taller than Chrome Dome at the head. We have Voyager class Megatron, and then at the head he comes up to a little, like right above those lines on Megatron's chest, but the wings nearly basically come up to the bottom of Megatron's head there. We've got Leader Class 6 Shot. Just gotta raise the camera for him. He comes up to the skirt panel on 6 Shot, like right about there. Right about this area on the panels. And the wings, not really, but they almost come up to those black noodles on his chest. They just come up to like right at this line on 6 Shot's chest, basically. That molded bit. Here he is with the channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack. So you can see how he looks next to them. And also, here he is next to his partner, Dreadwing. So you can see how the two of them look next to each other. But yeah, overall, not Dreadwing, Darkwing, Blackwing, that's his current name, Blackwing, is a very nice robot mold. Let me start over with that. Blackwing is a very nice toy. His colors are surprisingly appealing, despite the bright colors contrasting with the more subtle the muted colors. Muted? That's not really the right word, but you get what I'm saying. That there's these bright colors and there's not so bright colors, and they kind of balance each other out fairly well. Jet mode is very nice, and while the jet mode very much looks like an aerial bot toy, the robot mode does a lot different to make them fairly distinct enough, and also there's a lot of new tooling to accommodate a combined Dreadwing mode. Unfortunately, that's not so secure, and I wish there were just like 2 tabs to help with that to make that a bit more stable. But overall, it is a very nice toy, very nice looking toy, very solid toy, and I do recommend this. I would recommend this one. You may be more interested in the Terracons and the Autobots, but I think he's definitely deserving of a pickup, especially if you got his partner Dreadwing. But that is all I have to say on Blackwing. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.